Shadow of Fear. Introducing El Mencho. Imagine a man who was untouchable, a shadow that loomed over entire cities, a man whose very name whispered fear into the hearts of criminals, politicians, and civilians alike. His name? El Mencho. For years, he was more than a cartel leader. He was a living legend, a force of nature in the criminal underworld. Tonight, we explore how this untouchable figure faced a reckoning that shook the world. Born Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, El Mencho came from humble beginnings in Jalisco, Mexico. But from an early age, ambition burned inside him. A hunger for power, control, and respect drove him into the dangerous world of organized crime. What started as small-scale operations escalated into an empire built on fear, loyalty, and ruthless efficiency. El Mencho wasn't just a boss. He was a strategist. Every move calculated, every ally chosen with precision. His cartel expanded with astonishing speed. And yet, in the shadows, the seeds of his downfall were quietly taking root. Tonight we will trace the path from his rise to his eventual fall, step by step, minute by minute. The rise of the Kingpin. By the 1990s, El Mencho had become a formidable figure. His cartel controlled territories, trafficking routes, and people's lives. Smuggling operations stretched from Mexico to the United States. Money flowed, weapons circulated, and his reputation grew with every violent strike against rivals. Fear and respect were his currency. No one dared cross him. Opponents vanished without a trace. And yet, the empire was not without its foundations, a network of loyal lieutenants, spies, and enforcers who enforced his rule without question. But every empire, no matter how strong, faces challenges. Rival cartels began to emerge. Law enforcement agencies started noticing patterns, and whispers in the shadows hinted that the untouchable El Mencho might one day face consequences. The question was, when? In this section, we'll explore the human side of El Mencho's rise, the people who followed him out of loyalty, the men who feared him, and the young criminals who idolized him. Through their eyes, we see the man behind the legend. The Shadow Network. El Mencho's empire was vast. Secret tunnels, hidden safe houses, bribed officials, and loyal enforcers created a shadow network that seemed impossible to penetrate. But behind every empire lies a web of secrets, and secrets are fragile. International authorities, from DEA agents to Interpol, began mapping his operations. Wiretaps, surveillance, and informants slowly revealed the structure of his cartel. The world outside was starting to see cracks in his otherwise invincible armor. Within his empire, loyalty was tested. Subordinates began to question orders. Alliances shifted, and fear, once a tool, began creeping into his own ranks. The same paranoia that kept him safe now threatened to unravel him. First signs of betrayal. No empire survives betrayal, and no kingpin is immune. Some of El Mencho's closest allies began making secret deals with authorities. Some sought power for themselves. Some simply wanted to survive. The very men who once carried out his orders with ruthless precision now whispered in the shadows. Informants leaked critical information. Surveillance footage was compromised, and the empire he had spent decades building was starting to tremble from within. Here, the story becomes intensely human. Fear, greed, loyalty, and ambition collide, creating tension so thick it could be cut with a knife. Every decision El Mencho made was now weighed against betrayal, every move a potential trap. The global hunt intensifies. By now, the pursuit of El Mencho had gone global. American authorities, Mexican federal forces, and international agencies coordinated in unprecedented ways. They traced his money, monitored his associates, and intercepted communications. The man who had eluded capture for decades was finally being cornered. Tunnels were discovered, safe houses raided, couriers intercepted. The net was closing. And yet, El Mencho was elusive. Every escape seemed calculated, every disappearance rehearsed. But the pressure was mounting, and even the cleverest strategist can make mistakes when the walls are closing in. During these tense months, alliances shifted, family members were threatened, and a world that had lived under his shadow began to breathe again. But for El Mencho, every heartbeat was a countdown to confrontation. The final days. Paranoia consumed him. Safe houses became traps. Allies vanished or turned informant. The once untouchable Kingpin now faced threats on all sides, inside and outside his empire. Authorities launched covert operations. Intelligence gathered over years culminated in a daring plan to apprehend him. Every detail was calculated: surveillance, timing, backup forces. It was a final chess move in a game that El Mencho thought he always controlled. In these final days, we see the human side of fear, the fear that even the most powerful men cannot escape. Mistakes became inevitable, tension reached its peak, and the end was near.